Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the show this March 20th, 2023, a Monday. Thank you for tuning in. Listen, I'm glad to have you guys here. Now, here's what I want to tell you. UBS buys Credit Suisse, and the central banks have taken joint liquidity action. Okay, these are emergency measures. They just sat around the table and they said, well, how much, they just decide all this arbitrarily. How much do you think we should write down that we sold Credit Suisse for? $3 billion sounds good. Okay, that's fine. Now, what's the next order? Okay, well, we give them a credit line. How much are we going to give them? $100 billion sounds good. Okay, $100 billion. They just sit down and they write all these deals, boom, 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 to enrich themselves at our expense. Don't ask any of us. They're totally out of control. And we're talking about billions that they just throw around like it's nothing. You know? We all have to work for that money. You know? And anyway, listen, guys. So here we go. That's the deal. Can you imagine if you got a deal like that? So you're walking down the street one day and you see a car for sale on the guy's curb, on a curb there, you know. And it's a fairly nice looking car and everything, you know. Latest model and everything. It's only a year old and everything. He got for sale sign on it. And he walks over and he writes on the window with a big marker, $300. And you're like, wow, that's something cheap. You know, that's way below valuations considerably. Guy says, yeah, but not only that, but I'll give you $10,000 cash along that you can spend on anything you want along with the car. So you take the car, you give him the $300, then he gives you $10,000 back in real cash. You can't believe your eyes. Oh my gosh. And the car. Here's the keys. That's basically what they just did for their buddies. Give them the bank $3 billion, and give them $100 billion in credit that they can use for whatever they want. And so this, what should I call it? Pillaging continues. It's all going to end in disaster, absolute disaster, you know. But for now, with all this money they've smoothed around, $300 billion just was added to the Fed's balance sheet. So much for quantitative tightening. Just over half of the quantitative tightening they've done that caused all this problem to begin with has just been erased like it. So how much would that amount to, guys? You know, this week, $300 billion next week. That's $1.2 trillion a month. If they continue at this pace, you know, that's, what's that, $15 trillion a year. So they can nearly double the national debt in the next year or two from where it is now even. This is all just totally unsustainable. And if something's not sustainable, what happens? It cracks up. And so they're going to continue on. You watch. Watch, guys. Well, they'll probably raise 25 more basis points again. That's what caused the problem. They're going to do more? Come on, let's get real. That's what caused the problem, and they're going to do more. So that means they're going to have to bail more out. I heard there's like 180 banks or something right now that are on the edge. So we've had 3 go so far. So we're going to have 180 more go if they continue moving down this road? Well, it'll be a good excuse to bring in a central bank digital currency, won't it? You know? And what'll happen to all of us then? Well, a guy says, I want to take a trip out west, you know. I've always wanted to go out and see the Grand Canyon. Well, Martha says, well, you can't do that. He says, why? Government doesn't permit travel anymore. You're not allowed to leave your county unless you get a special permit. Well, how long does that take, Martha? Well, she says it costs 3,000 new credits. And it takes a 6-month wait while the bureaucracy goes through the red tape. And then you'll be able to go see the Red Canyon, the Grand Canyon, possibly. Oh, I like the good old days when we could travel across a state line without having to have special permits. This is the clampers that they'll put on you. They'll know if you cheat. Oh, you bought a piece of bubble gum out there in Wyoming or whatever, and you're supposed to be in Tennessee. They can see the date stamp on it, when you bought it, where you bought it, who you bought it from, what time of day you bought it. And how do they know? Well, simple. They got an AI hooked up to the thing that scans every purchase in the whole United States on a 24-hour basis. Or whatever country you're in, because they're going to put this everywhere. This isn't just for the United States. They got their plans once they get it in every country on Earth, and then they'll unify it all into one big lump. And there goes your freedom for anything you want to do. Your life's not your life anymore. It's going to be what you're told to do. Or they'll cut off your wallet, and then you'll starve to death. Just try them on. See what they're capable of. You know? Anyway, listen, guys. Here we go. Silver is down a little bit today. And you know the reason why? Is because they've put all this liquidity into the system right now, and they've normalized things a little bit. And what's been normal for the last number of years is them kicking silver to the curb. But this was a tell. What do I mean by a tell? It told you what's going to happen when when the crunch time comes. You now know. Silver and gold's going to take big leaps upwards when the real crunch time comes. And, you know, the real crunch time is right on the edge of it, because the deflationary spike event that I talked about for years is here right now. This is it right here. The bank's going down and everything. This is the deflationary spike event. What comes next is them giving in to inflation ultimately in the end. That's what comes later. Once they get their central bank digital currency, they're going to give in to inflation. They're going to use it for all kinds of things. They're going to use it to feed the poor. Basic income. They're going to use it to enrich themselves even more. They're going to use it to control the people so that if you don't do what they want you to do, your application for your basic income ain't going to work. And they're going to make sure you've all lost your jobs. And then watch the inflation. Oh my gosh, the inflation. You have no idea, you know. And they'll just keep raising. They're just going to keep adding zeros. And what does that do? Well, it wipes out all the people who have savings now. So here you go. You all have jobs now and you have savings. They extinguish your jobs, they extinguish your savings. They kill your savings through inflation. And then the only way you can keep up is with this check that, not really a check, it's just money they put in your account. It's going to have a time date on it, more than likely, and you're going to have to spend it when they tell you to spend it. If you don't spend it, it'll disappear from your wallet. And they'll just keep adding zeros to that. Maybe they'll just send you more every month. Maybe they'll start off these programs with $500 or $1,000 a month, you know, of free money. And then as inflation goes up, they'll just keep adding more. So the only way you're going to be able to stay in the loop and be able to feed yourself is if you stick with what they got. This is their plan, to lock you in, to pigeonhole you, and then you're going to have to do what they want you to do. And so basically what they're doing is, it's a world takeover run by the central banks. This is what they're planning. Give them the power to print the money what we call money, which is really just credit. It's really just worthless digits. Give them that power, and they will slowly pigeonhole you in so you're a slave working in a factory night and day with no life and no hope for any life. What we call a life. We have this saying, people, they say, get a life. Why don't you get a life? A life is when you're out there doing things you want to do, and you got goals, and you're trying, and you got hope for a future, and they want to take all of this away so that you don't even think in the end. This is where this hooking you up to a neural link comes in. Just basically, why don't they just robots? Basically, they can create. Basically, they've got the technology now. They can create a human version of a robot. And their plan is that they're going to be the only ones out there that are not robots. Turn all of you guys into robots, as long as you don't protest or say anything about it, or don't have any objections to this. Just keep going along with the plan. Maybe they can succeed in getting everybody there if everybody just goes along with it all and just walks in an orderly line right into the slaughterhouse and out the other side. It's just like a bunch of pigs going into the... Anyway, I'm ranting here a little bit, but this is where they're headed. They don't have any clue when to stop. So silver price today, $22.40. Taking a look at gold. Gold is $19.72. It's down $17.10. And I told you guys the reason why is because things have normalized a little bit within the system because of these deals that they've done behind closed doors over the period of the last week or so. Cryptocurrency today, it's at 28,100. So cryptocurrency is taking quite a little bounce up from where it was. You could have had them for like 17,000. Now they're 28,000. Ethereum 1775. Taking a look at the Dow Jones today. If it'll ever come in. There it is. There's our Dow Jones. It's up 302. What we can see here is we see a lot of volatility, but today it's leveling out, and it's still staying above 30,000. Not for long. Unless they stop this quantitative tightening and raising interest rates, there's going to be more trouble coming. And all they've done is just smooth down. This is round one, and they've smoothed it down. Round two will be more severe. And they'll have to smooth it down again. But after a little bit, it's going to become blatantly obvious that it's costing more and more money to smooth it down. This time it cost, was it 400 billion or 500 billion, a half a trillion to smooth this one down? The next lump will take 2 trillion to smooth it down. And at a certain point, they'll realize that what they're doing on this end to fight inflation pales in comparison to all the money that they're having to print to fix the chaos that they're creating. This is stupidity on steroids. Oh, what's the matter with these people? Well, it's all a ruse to get their CBDCs. 39.43. It's up 27 points. Problem, reaction, solution. They create a problem. The people react to it because it gets bad enough. The problem gets bad enough. People react, and then they offer you the solution, which they had planned all along. They created the problem, They expect your reaction at a certain point, and they'll keep pushing until they get the reaction that they're looking for. And then they offer you the solution. And you fall for it hook, line, and sinker every single time. This is why they've gotten so brazen. Can you imagine how brazen they are now? They just go in and they make all these big deals, hundreds of billions, thousands of billions, whatever they want to do, and they don't ask the people or anything. The people don't even know about it until they come on later on the news and they say, well, we did it. What kind of BS is that? 66.15 is down. Crude oil is down 59 cents. Chicken, the fox is in the hen house with all the chickens right now. They get the fox running the hen house. Okay, we're looking at bonds today, and we got rising yields. Basically, the 10-year is up 4.8 basis points at 3.52, and the U.S. 30-year is 3.62, and it's up 2 basis points. Dollar index today is at 103.39 and falling off. Thank you guys for listening to my show. And I really appreciate my audience. I appreciate you guys out there watching my show. I appreciate my Patreon viewers over there that help support my channel. Big bravo, a big clap to you guys. Thank you very much for being a supporter over at Patreon, for my patrons out there. I really appreciate that. And you guys have a great afternoon. Bye-bye.